Holy shit, we have another bomb interview. Basically, there's this kid named Dave, and he said there were a bunch of Snapchat groups that he knew about that morning, hours before the first 911 call. Dave is the first person to come forward that has a similar story to what Kim's daughter was saying.
What? Snapchat's basically saying that I did not use Snapchat for 12, 13 hours all day Sunday. That is not true. That is not true.
At the same time,
I guess the question is can the FBI take that data? Snapchat.
Of course. The FBI has the capability of asking these providers to not publish such information and making sort of disappear.
But there are still many unanswered questions. Why did the surviving roommates wait almost 8 hours after the murders to call 911? Why did the killers spare the life of Kaylee Gonzalez's dog? And perhaps most important, why were the lives of 2 roommates spared?
The surviving roommate in the Idaho college killings failed to call 911 the night of the slayings because she apparently believed the killer was a party guest.
One of the details that we've come to learn is that she didn't think anything other than just noisy roommates was a problem. She thought her roommates were horsing around and being loud in the middle of the night.
Shocking new revelations in the brutal murders of 4 Idaho college students last fall. A new report claims the 2 roommates who survived the massacre were awake and texting each other while their 4 friends were stabbed to death one by one.
Yeah. What did you say to Adam? I told him everything.
There's a narrative being pushed in the mainstream media about the Idaho slayings. Incel, college student, pushed to kill. If you believe these stories, then you are still asleep to the tricks that are being played. For instance, out of the many girls on the Wazoo campus where Bryan was attending, wouldn't it be more likely that this incel activator would have activated a long time ago? Yet the media have yet to explain a clear motive of a person with no link to the victims. Even after many witnesses on Snapchat stated that multiple people were in the house at that time, surviving roommate Dylan, who was in the house at the time, stated that she only saw one person with bushy eyebrows. It had me thinking, was there a mole in the house? The killers knew exactly what time to hit the spot and exactly where to go. And the sliding door was surprisingly left unlocked so that the killer may enter. Also, other friends were called to the home before calling 911. 8 hours later. This was 100% planned, but why? And by who?
are you nervous?
A little bit.
Yeah. The fact that he is coming forward, it takes a lot of courage, and I don't want his life to be affected in a negative way because of internet sleuths. So we pitched down his voice and we didn't show his face at all because we want to protect him.
I was telling you the other day, it's like cracking back into trauma, you know, and just like a bunch of stuff that you just want to forget.
So right now we are looking up messages that were in the Snapchat group that Dave was a part of.
I'm pretty sure that's it. But that does not look like 3 days worth of Snapchats that I would even send today.
Sent, saved, chat. And these are your messages.
Yeah.
That's it.
This is.
And it wouldn't even show
This
other
looks like everything that I can see or can send. Wait, look at the dates. The 12th.
So 13th.
Look at the timestamp. 05:16 in the morning. Look at the next timestamp. 17:35. What? Snapchat's basically saying that I did not use Snapchat for 12, 13 hours all day Sunday. That is not true. That is not true.
At the same time.
That's just the group chat. That's not even my individual snaps. Where are all of my snaps that I sent to people asking if they were okay? And This is two ways, right? This is saying that I didn't message anybody for 12 hours and nobody messaged me for 12 hours. That's also considering all of the other group chats I was in too. But radio silent for 12 hours? No. Guaranteed, no.
Today, I'm going to be meeting with Kim, and this is the first time that she will be seen on camera. To recap, your daughter claims that in the hours before the police were called, she and a group of other students were in a Snapchat group discussing the murders. Do you remember details that your daughter told you about what was in the Snapchat group?
So the details were, there was multiple people inside, and the girls had seen somebody outside, and that is why they locked themselves in the room. And they were awake, aware, and then they called friends to come over.
But the Snapchat groups, I feel like, could be the one piece of really evidence, because people want to see things on paper. And
Sure, when you have Snapchats out there and text messages out there, that there wasn't just one person there, and that kids were on the scene, in the crime scene, in the house. And how could you not call 911 when you heard those screams? And you can't tell me they didn't scream. All I'm saying is that it's a really small town. This is a really bad crime. I hope that the students are as involved as I believe that they are.
So I get that very strongly. So there's a mole in the house. Now, the mole can be working for the good side or the bad side, the crime family or the cops, right? Like, I don't know which side, and sometimes the cops can be bad and the crime family can be good because it's all flipped and crazy.
Police have reiterated that this appears to be a targeted attack with no signs of forced entry into the home.
Locks like this? A former tenant posted this photo and says all 6 bedrooms had combination locks.
It's believed the students had a lock on their door similar to this. This is a keypad lock, and I'm at AAA Architectural Hardware in Manhattan with Richard Brown, who is the owner. Are these things reliable?
They're very reliable when they're installed properly and when they're used properly. You press the code that was pre-programmed in, push down on the lever handle, open the door, and then close the door behind you. And it should be locked.
I also then whipped right over to Dylan, and there is a complete mask over her energy field. I cannot read her for the life of me, and she is not who she presents herself to be. I will tell you that. I feel like it's a complete inversion. It's completely inverted. It's not as she presents herself.
Police now revealing that before a 911 call was made, the 2 surviving roommates of a deadly rampage that killed 4 students summoned friends to the off-campus home near the University of Idaho, telling authorities they thought someone on the 2nd floor had, quote, passed out and was not waking up.
1:51 a.m., they grab food from the truck window and walk out of frame. Police confirm that at this point they get picked up by a car service, and about 6 minutes later, they arrive at home on King Road. According to an affidavit, Ethan and Zana are already in the house, along with 2 other roommates. According to an affidavit, Ethan and Zana are already in the house, along with 2 other roommates. According to an affidavit, Ethan and Zana are already in the house, along with 2 other roommates.
If we don't have the whereabouts of the 2 survivor roommates on the night of the slayings, who's to say they were even home? If so, what were they planning?
Now, Rob McQueen used to live in that very same rented home where these murders occurred. And he says that these killings would have required a lot of planning.
And then once you move from that sliding glass door, you're run directly into the entrance to a bedroom, and then to your right, you have to go up the stairs. And when you think about a 3rd floor, you have to think of this in college housing, right? So when you move up to that 3rd floor, it's a narrow stairway. It enters into a very, very small hallway, and then the entrance to 2 rooms. The room that the murders took place in and another room that was unoccupied. And that is a really, just the layout and the complexity of getting to that part. You could either be completely not worried about the impact of what would happen to you should you be caught, or you had to diligently plan and understand the layout of that house to move in and actually leave that space without like really causing alarm and being caught.
The sliding door was left unlocked, and there was no sign of forced entry. The killers know exactly when to enter the home, which rooms to enter, and which rooms not to enter. Based on this information, is it possible one of the surviving roommates was actually a mole?